What a beautiful morning it is in Lee County. And in fact, he was talking about hunting, and I walked out in this weather and I'm thinking, we're getting close to deer season. It's feeling good. But I do appreciate your presence here today. And as I was coming in, I noticed we passed by the Iowa State Penitentiary. You know, when I was governor, one of the things that I did was fight the corruption that I inherited. And you cannot even imagine the level of intense corruption that existed in Arkansas state government. One party had had total control of it for 150 years. And for about 20 years, the Clintons totally dominated Arkansas politics. And so I tell people that, you know, I'm the one Republican that has consistently had to fight the Clinton political machine. I not only fought it, I defeated it repeatedly to get elected. And I lived to tell about it, and that's the most important thing. I want to describe for you what the political machine of the Clintons were like, because you have to realize that when I became lieutenant governor, I was elected in the state, that first Republican in 25 years to be elected. First, only one in the capital at the time, and only the fourth in the past 150 years. The Clintons so dominated the political landscape that when I was elected lieutenant governor, Webb Hubbell, Hillary Clinton's law partner at the Rose Law Firm, who went onto the White House with the Clintons, called back and said, make him feel welcome, because they were furious that I'd been elected. They were just livid. Their hand-picked person for lieutenant governor, Bill Clinton's former legal counsel, was my opponent, had all the money he could have imagined. There was no way that a Republican was going to win. Republicans never got above 37% of the vote in a statewide election in Arkansas. That was the limit. And here I came along and won. That wasn't supposed to happen. So I take the oath of office, I go down to my office as lieutenant governor, and Webb Hubbell had ordered the door nailed shut. So there are nails in the door. I'm not talking figuratively, literally, nails. Wall Street Journal actually flew a reporter down to see was it an apocryphal story, or had in fact the elected lieutenant governor been shut out of his own office. It stayed that way for my first 59 days as the elected lieutenant governor of the state, until finally even Democrats in the state were screaming and saying, this makes us look like idiots. Open the door. The man got elected. That was my introduction. But when the door got open, by the way, all the furniture had been removed and all the office equipment had been taken out of it. It was a completely empty office. We had to get local furniture dealers to donate the use of the furniture. We couldn't get any because the budget had been zeroed out as well. I'm telling you, I hear people say, we need a candidate who can fight. We need a president who can fight. Well, folks, other people talk about fighting. I'm going to tell you something. Every single day of my political life was a fight. And it wasn't a fight that somebody could make a story about. It wasn't a fight with shadows. It was a fight with a real, honest, and goodness political power force that was brutal. So they didn't expect me to last long, but I got reelected. And then when the governor before me, who had succeeded Bill Clinton, he was convicted in Whitewater-related felonies. They got him but not Clinton. And so he had to resign. Well, he spent 7 weeks in the process between his conviction and resignation so he could spend $400 million of the state's money and appoint 1,000 people to boards and agencies and commissions to go ahead and fill up everything in state government with Clintonistas. So I finally did get sworn in, and that was a mess because he decided 5 minutes before the swearing in that he wasn't going to resign after all, creating a constitutional crisis in the state. Now you got to understand, so I bring the legislative leaders in, but I have a legislature that's 89 Democrats and 11 Republicans in the House, 31 Democrats and 4 Republicans in the Senate. It's the most lopsided legislature in America. It's more than Massachusetts, worse than Vermont, Oregon, New Jersey, New York, California, you name it. No state. I know that probably will be a surprise to you because most people didn't think of Arkansas as being as blue a state as it was. But I'm telling you, it was a fight every day. I brought those leaders together and I said, folks, we can't allow a person to be convicted and continue to serve. And it's not his option. The Constitution is clear. And much to my relief and surprise, they agreed that they would stick with me on this issue, and we would call for impeachment the next day. Well, 5 hours later, after we had spent an entire day both claiming to be the governor, he unconditionally surrendered and resigned. That was my first day in office. I went after the corruption in that state because it was so entrenched, and I fought it. Because you can't have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people if the government is really for the crooks, by the crooks, and all about the crooks. And over the next 3 years, we saw 17 different elected officials who were indicted, tried, sentenced, and in many cases, hauled off to prison. Now, let me tell you, if that won't keep you sleeping with one eye open at night, nothing will. There were people who had stolen millions and millions of dollars right out of the state treasury and gotten away with it for years. That was the people's money. And right now in Washington, there is corruption that is killing this country. Some of it isn't criminal, some of it is just unethical. Some of it won't send people to prison,